Welcome to our final 45-minute session of 2025. So the weekend just gone, the 21st of December, marked Yule and the winter solstice. So that is the shortest day and the longest night. So that is the most amount of darkness we will have this year, and for the remainder of 2026 as well, until December 21st, 2026. So this is a great time to really slow down. That's why we have lots of lights at this time of year, because it is so dark. We have our little Christmas trees, we have maybe lights outside our houses, we like to light candles. So we're going to be finding a little bit of light in the darkness throughout our practice today. So we're going to be conjuring up the energy of the sun, the Surya, and as well as taking a pause, taking some time to reflect on the year and what 2026 might bring us. I always love this time of year to practice this kind of class, a nice reinvigoration as well as a nice slow down and pause, because it's kind of both. Lots of excitement looking forwards, whilst also acknowledging that we are in the depths of the darkness. But each day the sun will rise a little earlier, the days will become a little longer, day on day on day, until we reach the summer solstice on the 21st of June. So let's begin lying down. It's always a great time to start. A nice reflection on where we're at currently in the depths of the darkness. So allowing yourself to get comfortable, and see if you can bring your hands somewhere on your body. If your legs are out long, maybe bring it to your belly. If you're in constructive rest pose, you might want your hands on your hips or thighs, wherever feels most comfortable for you. And just allow yourself to arrive on your mat today. Feel the mat pressing into your back, into the soles of the feet, if they're up, the backs of the legs, the back of the pelvis. And allowing your breath to deepen. And to soften. Breathing in through the nose. And out through nose or mouth. And breathing into that felt sense of the earth beneath you. The earth outside is not looking particularly infused with energy right now. We are in winter. Things are hibernating. Things may look dead and barren. The leaves have fallen from the trees and the bushes. And perhaps there's also been some things that you too have shed over the last few months in life. People, things, places, thought patterns. Allow them to sink away, down into the earth. Everything you have released or wish to release. Allow that sense of the earth beneath to really pull that from you, to accept it. Allowing it to drop away from you, away from your body, away from your spirit. Each exhale allowing a little bit more to be released down. like a disintegration, a slow decay. You have shed your leaves to the earth, and the earth will hungrily absorb everything that you are offering. Just bringing to mind what those things might be that you have or are hoping to release. And on each exhale, releasing them to the ground beneath. "2025 has been, in the Chinese calendar, the year of the snake. Imagining a snake's skin shedding. And being absorbed back into nature, into the soil. You are and have been this year shedding your skin. And sometimes we need a little bit of help. A snake might need a wiggle here and there to help release the last little bit. That's what our first half of our practice is going to be. So just taking the knees up if your legs are long, bringing your arms out wide and then sending your knees over to one side. Just a gentle twist here. Maybe moving with your breath, so as you inhale, reaching the knees up to the sky, and then as you exhale, drawing them over to the other side. This gentle movement, just allowing your body to release those last little bits. Down into the ground, down into the earth beneath, who's ready and willing to take and absorb from you. And then drawing your knees back up to center. Let's extend the right leg out long, bringing the leg knee into your chest. Taking a nice stretch here, seeing if you can find a little bit of activation in that right leg, pressing the back of the leg into the ground. And then swapping the legs over. And then drawing both knees into the chest, taking a little circle of the knees, massaging the lower back into the earth, taking these little wiggles. And then allowing the knees to come over to one side and to press yourself up to all fours. So on that little vein of having some nice wiggles, just find some movement in the hips, into the ribs that feels good. Being less descriptive, just specifically doing cats and cows today. If you want to do that, please do. But maybe your little snake skin needs a little circle of the hips instead today. Slithering the spine like the snake. Slow, gentle movements. Leaning into the darkness and the pause. Perhaps you've been sat at a desk all day and a little wiggle of the hips is going to help to release any little niggles or tension into the lower back. Wiggling to release. And then we're going to walk our hands over to the right side. So take one hand off the mat, one hand right on the edge. And send the hips back towards the heels for kind of a side bend child's pose here. If it feels better, you can have the toes tucked and hips lifted a little bit more. Find what feels good, find what wiggles your little snake needs. And then slowly rising back up to that all fours, taking the hands to the center and then off the left hand side. Heels, hips to heels, balasana. Again, maybe you keep slithering your snaky tail. Moving to release. Breathing into the right side of the body. And then slowly rising back up to all fours, bringing the hands back to the center of your mat. Let's shift the weight forwards and allow ourselves to lower down onto our belly. Bringing the hands up off your mat, right on the tips of your fingers. We're going to take our wiggly cobra. So as you inhale, look over your left shoulder, press into the left hand to lift halfway, then come through center so you're right up in the middle, and then drop the left shoulder forwards to look behind your right, and then slowly drop that shoulder down. So it's kind of a bit of like a wave here. Going back in the other direction, looking over right shoulder, coming back to center, then looking over left as the right shoulder drops down into the center. It's like a little Mexican wave through the body. Taking this a few more times. You can go as high as you would like to into your cobra, your bhujangasana, or keep it low. If you're going higher, I'd recommend just a slight clench in the glutes. Finding a little activation there, just to support into the lower back. And then once you've finished, bring your hands back underneath your shoulders. Let's press all the way back up through all fours. And then extend your left leg out the side of your mat. So you're kind of coming into a gate pose or extended leg. To the left hand side, the foot is in line with the right knee. Let's take some movement here. Maybe it's a cat and cow. Maybe it's another circle of the hips. And just noticing any little niggles and wiggles. If you find a niggle, give it a wiggle. And leaning back, forwards, opening into the inside of that left leg. And as always, the invitation here is to find what feels good, find what feels best in your body today. Especially as we move and wiggle to release. Keeping that left leg extended, come back into a neutral spine position. We're going to keep the left hand down and then lift the right fingertips up above your head, turning towards the right hand side. And then as you exhale, coming into a thread the needle, so your hand is reaching down towards your left foot. Taking it twice more, we're going to pause on the third time. Exhale, reaching. Inhale, that hand reaches up to the sky. And then exhale, reaches over and down and across. Maybe you bring that right shoulder to the mat, maybe the side of the head as well. Keeping the whole of that left foot on the floor. And if it helps to do that, maybe focus on trying to touch the outer pinky toe edge of the foot right into the floor. Taking a deep breath in as you lift the fingers up towards the sky, and then exhale, draw it back. Slowly we're going to lift that leg all the way up, around and back to all fours. Nice, taking that on the other side, so reaching your right foot out this time. Foot in line with knee. And then taking your wiggles for your niggles. Little hip movements, spinal ripples, forwards and back. Maybe even coming back into a bit of a child's pose. Opening and finding more awareness of that inner thigh. And then when you're ready, coming back to pause in the center. Pressing your way into your right hand. Let's lift the left fingers up. And exhale, twisting, arm comes underneath to reach towards the right toes. Twice more, inhaling up. Exhaling to twist and reach or thread the needle. Last time, inhale all the way up. And exhaling, threading the needle through and maybe allowing the left shoulder, left side of the head to come down to the floor. Pressing into the outer edge of that right foot. Perhaps feeling a stretch along the top of the calf, the top of the shin, the side of the calf. And then when you're ready, let's press ourselves all the way back up. Lower that left hand down. Take a little lift of that right leg around and back down. Let's coming into Balasana now. So widening the knees, bringing the hands above your head onto the floor. You have the option here to lift the palms, but keep the fingertips attached to the floor, just to open up into the chest a little bit more. Breathing deeply in through the nose. And out through the nose or the mouth. Feeling the lungs expand in 360 ways. Forward, sideways, back, up and down. Each exhalation gives you more and more permission to release, to shed the skin of 2025. And then when you're ready, we're slowly going to come up to all fours. Tuck the toes, lift the hips up and back to dog. Wiggling out your dog, be it walking, pacing, hip swinging. And then slowly when you're ready, walking your feet to your hands to your feet, coming into your Uttanasana forward fold. Nice wide stance here, maybe swaying from foot to foot, finding more wiggles. Maybe taking an elbow in each hand, really allowing the head, shoulders, neck to release. Keeping those knees nice and bent so you can really hinge at the hips and fold forwards. Fully floppy upper body. And then when you're ready, releasing your elbows. Let's take a halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Arms and hands glide up the legs to lift. And then exhale to release. Taking that a few more times. Inhaling, lifting. We've got a slight gaze to the future of a little bit of sunlight, but it's still dark. Bowing forwards. Twice more. Keeping movement in line with your breath. This is natural. as the leaves and trees and flowers all die off and hibernate, we too must, with the rhythm of nature, the rhythm of our breath. This time we're going to glide the arms around and come up to standing. Palms are meeting above your head. And exhale, they're coming down to the heart. Pausing here. Feeling into the rhythm of your breath. Breathing in through the nose, filling the lungs fully expand. And exhale out through the mouth with a sigh. 2 breaths like this. One more. That cosmic pulsation of the expansion of the breath and the contraction of the release. Nice. We're going to come and shift a little bit in our energy now. Just to acknowledge that the light itself is still returning, even if we can't quite see it yet. So bringing the arms around, I'm going to take a few rounds of our modified version of our Surya Namaskar. So as you exhale, fold forwards. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, release. Plant the palm, step back with your left foot. Knee down, low lunge. Inhale, rise. Exhale, lower the hands. Tuck the back toe, lift the back knee. Press and step the right foot back into your downward facing dog. Breathing deeply, awakening the backs of the legs, keeping the knees nice and bent, a long spine, tailbone lifts. Inhaling, let's ripple forwards through to our high plank, top of the push-up. The knees come down, shifting forwards and lowering down to the ground. We pause here, a prostration to the sun. A giving thanks for the sun that soon will return. Inhale, roll the shoulders, lift the chest, cobra. Exhale, take it back, downward facing dog. Stepping forwards with the left foot, dropping the right knee. Low lunge on the other side. Inhale, the arms lift. Exhale, hands release down. Back toes tucked, lift the knee, press into the foot to lift it up, stepping forwards into your forward fold. Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rising up. Those palms encircling the sun, pausing at the top. Exhale, hands down to heart. Giving thanks with our namaskar, our salutation to the sun. Inhaling up. Exhaling, bowing forward. Inhale, lifting halfway. Beginning to increase the pace here. Right foot back, knee down. Building our connection with the sun, the heat, the Agni, the fire will come back. Just slowly building it. Tuck the back toe, lift the knee, press and step back to downward facing dog. Inhale, shifting forwards, top of the push-up. Knees down or not, your choice. Shifting forwards and lowering to the floor. Pausing for a breath. Giving thanks. It will return. Inhaling, rolling the shoulders, lifting the chest, Bhujangasana. Exhale, take it back, downward facing dog. Inhale, stepping forwards, right foot behind the right wrist. Back knee down, Anjali Asana. Exhale, releasing the hands down. Back toes tuck, knee lifts, press into that left foot to step it up to meet the right at the top of your mat, folding forwards. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, that little lift, that little glimmer of light we see. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rising up. Palms meet above your head, and exhale, hands to heart. Taking this a couple more rounds, just slowly increasing the energy. Reminding ourselves that we are still ruled by the sun. Lifting halfway. Exhaling, folding. Left foot back. Knee down. Rising on the inhale. Softening on the exhale. Stepping back to dog. Inhale, rippling. Weight comes forwards, lower down with control. Inhale, rising, expansion. Exhale, take it back to dog, contraction. Right foot steps forwards, knee down. Inhale. Exhaling to lower the hands. Back foot, knee lift, step forwards, Uttanasana. Inhale, lifting halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale as we warm the body, we lift, we expand and contract. Last time, in your breath rhythm. Breathing in line and in time with your breath, with your own expansion. The snake skin shedding as your contraction. Right foot back. Stepping back to dog. A pause before you ripple. Contracting as you lower. Pausing as a prostration. Like I said, we are sun-led. We need the sun. Without it, we would not survive. Inhale, breathing in, expanding. Exhale, contracting. Up to dog. Right foot forwards. And inhaling, rising back to Tadasana. Palms meet and come down to the heart. Pausing in Tadasana, if you would like to take a mudra here, I offer you Surya Mudra. This is the mudra of the sun. I'm going to have ring finger in, being held by your thumb. Other fingers come next to it. Let's place them at our hips in our Tadasana. Roll the shoulders, lift the chest. Feel that connection with the earth once again through the soles of your feet, really pressing into all parts of your feet. The toes, the heels, each edge. Really feeling that rooted connection. And breathing in through the soles of your feet up to the crown of your head as your crown lifts up towards the sun. Just like a sunflower, the head lifts and turns to the light. And with our mudra, we are really focusing on this sun energy, the fire that will return, the heat, the warmth that we'll soon be experiencing as the days increase. The light lifts and we walk into the year of the horse, the fiery energy of the horse. One step forwards, galloping on, leading in our own lives. We have released all that the snake has shed its skin. We are ready to go head first into our next adventure. Releasing your mudra. We're going to come into back to the top of our mat and step back with our left leg behind us. So we're coming into pyramid pose here. So you're kind of in about a meter distance stance. You don't want anything too long or too narrow. So take a nice distance between the feet and at the edges of your mat. The back foot can turn out slightly, but the right toes face the top of your mat. Hands can come to the hips or come to your heart in Anjali Mudra. Take a nice deep breath in as you really find that pressing down in the feet, a lifting up in the thighs, a lifting and contraction into the belly. As you exhale, let's lean forwards, finding a nice long spine, seeing if you can draw that right hip back in space and press the left forward so that your hips remain square and level. Breathing deeply. And releasing back up on your next inhale. We're going to bend into that front knee slightly and begin to fly. We're going to begin to lift that back leg behind us and lift the arms back behind us as well for warrior 3. Nice bend in that front leg. And as you tilt the top of the body forwards, we lift the back leg. You know, grab hold of a wall if that helps you to balance. Keep your focus, gaze down to the floor on one specific spot. Whoop. And then lean back. Just going to float twice more. So as you inhale, find that expansion, the wings open, legs lift. And as you exhale, contract the arms back in, step back into your pyramid pose. Last time. Like your body is being thrust forwards like a horse through the stable door. I lied, we're going to do it once more because it feels great to expand. And then come back into contract. We're going to find a wide-legged position here. So maybe turn to face the long edge of your mat. Press the feet into a parallel position. Once again, press into the floor to lift the crown of the head up. And then exhale, little bend in the knees and releasing forwards into that wide-legged fold. You can bring the hands to the floor. You can take them to your ankles. Maybe taking a little sway. This wriggly movement, bending into one knee a bit more, bending into the other. And then bringing your left hand into the center, let's reach the right fingers up towards the sky. Seeing things from a slightly different perspective, moving into 2026 in that horse, fiery energy, swapping hands over, lifting all the way back up to the other side, and releasing. Once more each way. It's always moving with your breath. Releasing on the exhale, expanding on the inhale. And then slowly, when you're ready, rising all the way back up to standing. And taking a little twist and turn to the opposite edge of your mat to prepare for your pyramid on the other side. It's a little wiggle of the legs, just get as comfortable as you can here. Widen the stance, shorten it, find a bit of stability. Bringing hands to heart. Taking a nice deep breath in as the crown lifts, the feet dig deep. And leaning forwards. Again, really focus on pressing that right hip forwards in space. Left hip pulls back. Level hips. If you're feeling a lot of pulling in the back of the hamstring, just take the lock out of the knee. And slowly rising all the way back up. Bringing that back foot in slightly, readying yourself to fly. We're going to fly 4 times. So as you inhale, reaching the chest forwards, the back foot lifts, the arms expand behind you. Inhale, step back, arms contract across your chest. All the potential here of the lights flying forwards. But first, we're still contracting in the dark. Twice more, using your breath to really help you feel this expansion. And pausing, releasing in the contraction. Last time. Slowly turning again to the long edge of your mat, but we're going to take toes out, heels in, and dip down into our goddess squat here. Again, little movements here if it feels good, maybe lifting a heel, leaning over to one side. And then pausing in center, bringing the thumbs on the inside of your thigh, fingers on the outside, dropping the left shoulder forwards into the space, looking behind your right. Inhaling center, exhaling to twist. Twisting, still building that, stoking that little fire within, it's still there. Breathing here, nice and steady. Once more, just to make the size even. And then coming all the way back to center. You're going to bring the heels in, toes out, but a little closer together, ready to come down into your malasana, your yogi squat. So slowly bending the knees. The hips are going to drop down behind you. You can lift the heels here. You can pause with a squat here with your elbows resting on the tops of your knees. Or if it's in your practice today, if your body fancies it and says yes please, really drop the pelvis right down and then bring the elbows on the inside of your thighs and knees here. Palms can press together. Still feeling that pressing down through the feet as you press and lift the crown and the chest up. The darkness and the light, the contraction and the expansion. The rooting down and the rising up. Taking one more breath in. And then as you exhale, find a way to release as comfortably as you want to and come down to a seated position. bringing your left leg out in front of you. Right leg's going to come up and across over the top of that leg. Now see what you feel. Do you want more expansion or contraction here? If you would like expansion, I invite you to take an open twist. So you're going to be twisting towards the left-hand side. Your hand can come onto that top of the thigh, the shin, the ankle. Other hand comes back behind you. If you're wanting to stoke that Agni, that fire a little bit more, and you're wanting a bit more of an contraction here, let's take a internal twist, a closed twist towards that right side. Wherever you are here, feeling the belly soften and expand as you breathe in, and contract in and up as you breathe out. Almost like your belly button's going to pull up and touch your heart. The natural ripples of the breath, reflecting the natural seasonal shifts. Winter is definitely the contraction before the expansion. And when you're ready, returning back to center, we're going to take our heron pose. So grabbing the inside and outside of your foot, or either side of your ankle or the back of your knee. We're going to lift that foot forward. So I'm just going to turn to show you from the side. So if you're grabbing your foot, pressing your foot into your hands, it's a nice hamstring stretch here, or if you're grabbing hold of your ankles or the back of your knee, doesn't matter. This is our heron pose, reaching out. If you find it more comfortable, you can bring that knee into bend or allow it to drop beside you. Find that foundation. If you fancy it, grab your left hand on the outside of that right foot and maybe draw a line across the front of the body and reach that right hand out behind you, taking this twist here. Leg does not have to be straight. Nice little bend in the knees keeps it active. You're pulling your foot towards you as you're pressing your foot away from you. Taking a nice deep breath in wherever you are. And releasing the foot all the way back down. We're going to bring it straight into our Janu Shasana. So it is our left leg still extended long. Our right knee bends and comes down towards the floor. Inhaling, lifting. Rooting down through your sitting bones, rooting down through that left heel and back of the leg as you lift up and over that extended leg. Bowing forwards. Bowing in reverence to your body, this newly clean, beautifully skinned snake arising out of 2025's shedding spree. Ready to live its new life as a galloping horse, powerful, strong. Inhaling all the way back up and swapping the legs over, so our right leg's going to be long this time. Left foot next to it, reaching the foot up and over. Again, expansion or contraction, what's your choice? If you want expansion, an open twist. If you want contraction, a closed twist. And you can choose a different thing on this side as you did on the other side as well. Maybe you want that balance of both. But wherever you are, wherever twist you are in, focus on that belly breath. We are each having our own expansion and contraction. Going through the cycles. Perhaps you felt 2025 is a big contraction, or has been a big expansion. With the shedding of the snake skin, it's almost been like the catapult being pulled back so that you can hurtle forwards into new ideas and adventures in 2025 as the catapult releases. Drawing yourself back to center, taking our heron pose on the other side. So pressing our foot into our hands or our ankle, holding onto our ankle or the back of the knee for our heron pose, reaching that heel away from you. Again, leg does not have to be straight, but finding length is the goal here. If you've got particularly long legs and short arms, you probably will never be able to have a straight leg. And that's okay. If you fancy it again, you can take that right hand to the the outside of that foot, and the other hand can come back behind you, taking this into a little twist here as well. Breathing deeply. And then releasing that leg down, coming into your Janushirasana on the other side. Inhaling, the roots of your sitting bones come down. And exhale, fold forwards. Breathing into the leg. And lowering down as you exhale. Slowly rising on your next inhalation. And I'm going to do something a little bit different to close our 2025 Breathe and Balance Asana practice with a brief meditation. If you would like to take this in Shavasana and lying down on your back, you are most welcome. But I'm going to take this sitting down on my back. Sitting down on my cushion with my back against the wall. Get as comfortable as you possibly can do. Maybe you add a little blanket on top. Just allowing yourself to get comfortable and relaxed. Maybe releasing the hands down into your lap. Pressing the back of the head into the support behind you. Either the floor or the wall. Allowing the eyes to close down. Switching out the light. Turning inwards. Allowing your breath to be steady and soft. Finding some stillness in the body with just the rippling of the chest and the belly moving as you breathe. Releasing the back teeth, finding some space, allowing the face to be soft. And seeing if you can give yourself permission to surrender to the stillness. Surrendering to the darkness. the dark. Be in the still. Noticing the slight pause of movement between each breath. That slight unintentional pause between the beginning of your inhale and the end of your exhale. Between the end of your inhale and the beginning of your exhale. That slight pause. That's where we are right now. Finding what's happening in the darkness and the stillness. Little rustles, glimmers. The dark is still very bright with potential. The dark too blooms and sings. That skin that you have shed, that disintegrates and decays into the soil beneath, provides food and nourishment for the buds under the surface. Feeding those buds, feeding the soil in which they sit. So that they may rise up in the spring, in the light. What we do in the dark is the same amount as importance of what we do in the light. Allowing your breath to deepen, taking a nice long deep breath in and a big sigh out through the mouth, allowing yourself to rise back to the surface. Taking any movement that feels good here, any movement that you find is nourishing, any further wiggles of release. And then joining me in a seated position of your choosing, bringing your hands, palms together in Anjali Mudra, bowing your head in reverence to 2025 and to the darkness in which we currently reside, ready to see the light again. Wishing you peace, love and light, thanking yourselves, thanking each other, and as always, thanking the wisdom and the teachings of yoga. And from my heart, as always, to yours, thank you, thank you, thank you.